Hello. Now we are into the seventh video of this fourth lesson called Louis Pasteur, Conqueror of Disease. Just have a look at the board. We have the lesson Louis Pasteur. In this context of the pandemic, what we call the COVID-19 having spread, and the kind of fear that has gone into our heart and mind, it is very important today what Louis Pasteur had done so many years back. It's Louis, S is silent, Louis Pasteur. On the field of this lesson being a bit lengthy, we will have a little bit faster reading and going through the matter, so that we would cover it up in a given time. Para number 1. On the field of battle, in one of his campaigns, Napoleon decorated for bravery a certain tanner named Pasteur. Tanner, one who is dealing with skins, or what we call animal hide. This brave soldier had an equally brave son, Louis Pasteur, born 7 years after the Battle of Waterloo. He was not a soldier, but he was a fighter. Para number 2. He fought disease. He devoted his life to the study of what we sometimes call germs, which men of science call bacteria, a Greek word meaning little rods, because of the way it seems, the way it is being looked in the microscopic expansion, like little rods. The name has come. Bacteria are vegetable organisms, little rod-shaped plants which exist in the air, water and soil, and in the bodies of animals and plants. Some, but not all, are causes of diseases. Some convert matter into food for plants, so there is utility also. Bacteria means bad, please don't have that impression. Para number 3. Louis Pasteur had a very busy and interesting life. He not only made some exciting discoveries, existing is not a discovery unless you find something, it's my slip of tongue, exciting discoveries about germs, but he was able to use his discoveries in a very practical ways. That is important, because some of the times we have certain people decorating themselves with doctorate and everything just for the sake of getting their salary enhanced, but what the theme that on which they have worked for the doctoral thesis is of no use for anybody. It was not like this in his case. He not only made some exciting discoveries about germs, but he was able to use his discoveries in very practical ways. He worked hard in his laboratory with test tubes and all kinds of experiments, but nearly all the time he was working to help people who are suffering in some special way from disease. At that time, what the disease is, what it is having effect on our body, people were not very fearful. It's very the conditions of that time is very unimaginable for us. In these days of quick communication, what we come to know, what we have the this thing, what we call particular medicinal help from any corner of the world, it was not possible in those days. It was much primitive, what we call experimental time, and in that era dawned upon a person called Louis Pasteur. Among the people whom Pasteur was able to help were brewers, breeders of silkworm, silkworms, then comma is there. It should not be comma. I have marked it because before and there should not be comma. That was what I was taught in school. And cow keepers, all of whom were trying to carry on important industries in France. Pasteur was always very proud of being able to help his country in this way. He was very proud that I am helping my country in this way. It's not that only his father who was a soldier who was helping, but this person doing his duty inside the territories was also helping his country. Fourth para, Louis Pasteur, born in a little French country town, was interested in chemistry when he was very young. After studying hard in Paris and showing great promise, he began to teach and lecture as professor of chemistry. He became a professor at Strasbourg in Alsace, and he married. Just read the sentence. Very funny indeed. He married a wife who was always to be his closest companion and assistant. It is a wrong word that has been used. He married a wife. It's not a wife. He married a woman. It should have been who became his wife. Marrying a wife means it gives some sort of a different meaning. Marrying someone else's wife, it's like some sort of a obnoxious meaning it is being used. But I feel so. So it should be married a woman who was always to his closest to be his closest companion and assistant. Fifth para, Pasteur was deeply interested in all the new experiments that were being made in chemistry and decided to solve some of the difficult problems that were worrying chemists and other scientists. What the problems worrying at that time, he was trying to solve them. Sometimes he used to sit for hours, quite silent, motionless, thinking hard about one of his difficulties. He was very focused on solving the difficulties. He was sitting there. People used to think at the time that he was doing nothing, sitting but motionless, but he was in deep thinking about the things that he had done in the past and about the experiment he has gone through and some of the things that he would do in future. He found this the easiest way to solve a problem, and when he thought of a solution, his kind, tired looking face would brighten up with pleasure and excitement, and he would rush around to tell his discovery to his wife, now the correct word has been used, and to others who are helping him. Immediately after getting the thoughts being linked properly and the correct solution was arrived at, he would rush immediately out and tell everybody about his discovery. Sixth one, in 1854, Pasteur was appointed head of the College of Science at Lille, a busy manufacturing town in the northeast of France. He was pleased about this because he always felt that trades and industries could be helped very much by researches of men of science. His chance to be useful soon came. He was very proud that what he would do would help the trade and industry. Seventh para, Pasteur, as a young chemist, had always been interested in the problems of why and how. This is very important. Why and how. Whenever we are doing something, we should be very much be able to focus on why and how. Just to arrive at the answer and score the marks is one thing, but to know why and how is very important. That only will pull us towards success in our life. Why and how living things decay, why milk turns sour. SOUR is to be pronounced as sa, as if SA is. That's what we were taught. You just see people say so. No, there is no. It's not like that. It's sa. Why meat goes bad, why wine ferments. He started to give some lectures in Lille on fermentation. One of the chief industries in Lille was manufacture of alcohol from beetroot. And he was fortunate in being able to carry out his experiments in some of the breweries. Some of the breweries. One manufacturer consulted Pasteur about his beer, which was turning out badly. And Pasteur, by helping this brewer, managed to discover all sorts of things that he did not know before about yeast. Yeast is a sort of a fungus that decays the thing, and it was discovered. Until that, it was not known as to how it happens, how the decay is taking place. No one was knowing about it. Yeast is used to make beer foam and bread rise up lightly. Is to rise up lightly. For dosa also, we put the dough in earlier day to rise up lightly. Pasteur became certain that yeast was alive, made up of tiny living cells. When these cells were healthy, the yeast acted well. But if they were diseased, the yeast and the beer went wrong. How he arrived at the conclusion. Now it's easier for us to understand once it is being discovered. But before that, people would make a round and going about it, and still one would not arrive at the solution. 8th para. After a few years, Pasteur was made a director of science studies at a famous college in Paris. He was still thinking about the decay and yeast and germs. And one of the problems that he was trying to answer was this: do germs form from other germs, or do they just come out themselves? How they are born, how the germs are born. That was his inquisitiveness stored in the back of the mind. People like Pasteur believed that germs were carried in air and might infect other things that came in contact with them, the thing that we are fearful these days too. Others believed in what they called spontaneous generation. Some others believe that it is automatically formed. How? Automatically. That is, they believed that germs had no parents, but they just occurred by themselves. Ninth para. Pasteur proved that he was right by a little simpler and clever experiment. He put some soup in some bottles and then he boiled it in order to destroy any germs that might already be in the soup. After that, he heated and pulled out the neck of each bottle until it formed a long neck with a big bend in the middle. The soup remained there for a long time and it never went bad, as it would have done if it had been standing in a bowl in the kitchen. It has no contact with the outside atmosphere, and then it did not go bad. That Pasteur is because there is no parent germs in the soup and they cannot reach it because of the bend in the long tube. So he took one of the bottles and split a little of the soup down the tube so that it settled in the bend. The soup went bad. It had the contact of the atmosphere. We often speak of dust traps. This bend in the tube was a dust trap. Because of dust, which we know may carry germs with it, could get as far as the bend but no farther, and it settled there and infected the soup. It got connected with the germs outside atmosphere, and the soup got infected. 10th para. This is only one of many hundreds of experiments which Pasteur made to show how full the air is of dust particles and how germs may be carried by this dust. One very useful experiment made to show the difference in between, the word should have been in, should be difference in between pure and stale air. Pasteur again filled some bottles with soup. He took some into a little hotel bedroom where the air hardly ever changed, broke the necks off so that air could enter freely to get in touch with the atmosphere inside the room of the hotel, and after a few minutes sealed them up again. He then took some bottles into the air, just a little different environment that he's taking, nearby, in a field nearby, and did the same with them. Finally, in the third atmosphere, he opened some on the top of the high mountain and again sealed them up. What was the result? When they were examined, the bottles opened in the hotel room were full of soup which had gone completely moldy, gone bad. The bottles opened in the field were moldy but not quite so bad. Those opened in the mountain had no germs in them at all. So, this is the second important sentence emphasizing the environmental clarity that saves us. How the environmental clarity that saves us is being emphasized. I forgot to inform you about the first important sentence. It is there in the 8th para, where they say, do germs form from other germs, or do they just come off themselves? That is the first important, so far as I feel. Then 11th para, immediately the third important sentence is in the 11th para. Nowadays we pay a great deal of attention to pure air, open windows, to freedom from dust, to garden cities. Pasteur was one of the first to show how necessary these are if we are to fight against germs and disease. This is very important. The third important sentence, I feel, he emphasized the importance of clear air and clean air and everything in those days itself. Now the market 11th one, the whole para is important. 12th one, another very useful discovery of Pasteur's while he was working in Paris was the process which we now call after him, pasteurization. Some French wine growers were troubled by a germ which had turned their wine sour. Pasteur showed that by heating the wine or milk or whatever it might be to a temperature of in between 50 to 60 degrees centigrade, the germs were made harmless. Pasteurized milk is milk which has been treated in this way and then sealed to prevent more germs from entering. 13th para, Louis Pasteur was that we should call an all-round scientist. It's a perfect call of expression, because what we say, either you call him an all-rounder or all-round scientist. Okay, it's all-round scientist. Perfect word, adjective used here, or just say all-rounder. And all the research which he did in his laboratories was meant to help his fellow human beings. It would be impossible to imagine Pasteur experimenting with explosives or poison gas. He took so much risk for the sake of humanity. Just see, even without being noticed at that time. 14th para, Pasteur founded the branch of science. Just remember, there are two different words. One is find, it's the past tense is found. Here, to found is another word. The foundation is its noun, and then again the past tense is founded. Don't misunderstand, have the clarity about it. Pasteur founded the branch of science called bacteriology, or the science of bacteria, and he showed what a wide range it had by studying the bacteria in all sorts of different activities. For 3 years he spent all his time and energy in tracking down the cause of disease which had ruined the silk industry. He began to just see how far his reach is uh, with the instrument of what he has been researching. For every step and everything that he is doing, he's thinking of helping the humanity, the industry, the agriculturist, or whoever it is. For 3 years, he spent all his time and energy tracking down the cause of disease which had ruined the silkworm industry. He began to believe that most, if not all, infectious diseases were due to certain bacteria which, if they got into blood, multiplied there and caused disease. He informed at that time itself. 15th one, 15th para, many other men were working and experimenting against those bacteria which were the enemies of man, and which were invisible but present everywhere and always ready to attack. Dr. Jenner in England had already discovered vaccination for smallpox, but inoculation against other diseases had not started. Only for smallpox, Jenner had already discovered the vaccination. 16th para, Pasteur was studying to discover a cure for the terrible disease called anthrax, which men sometimes get from infected shaving brushes, and which was attacking cows and sheep in France and killing them off very quickly. He found out, first of all, that a cow could not have anthrax twice, immunization. Then he began to wonder whether it would not be possible to make a cow and even a man just a little ill with anthrax so that they might not get it again. It was a risky, very, very risky proposal at that time, and was thought to be very foolish also. Who was ready to experiment this? Get it experimented on oneself. It's a very risky proposal, but still how he waded through it, just see. Perhaps this could be done by giving cows or sheep very weak old germs to make them safe or immune for the future. One can imagine how dangerous this idea of giving people germs must have seemed in those days. I'm not having any disease, but I'm in fact being deliberately infected with disease, and that is the solution. He says how people would react and accept this. Just imagine. But he was sure of it. Many scientists were angry about it, but they agreed to allow Pasteur to prove it by a public experiment. 17th para, so Pasteur collected some sheep, goat and cows and divided them into two lots. The one lot he gave injections of weak anthrax and other was left alone. Then on a certain day, after some days, all the animals were injected with the most deadly anthrax germs that could be produced. Deadliest one that could be produced were brought, and all were given the injection. On the third day after the experiment, the crowd of people gathered around the sheds to see what had happened to the animals. Pasteur, even though he was not so sure, he was so sure of himself, must have felt nervous. He was sure, but still the kind of mahol, let's say in Hindi, the environment and the pressure that was on him, he also must have been quite nervous. All the 24 that he had first protected by weak germs were perfectly well. The deadly injection had done them no harm at all. On the other, of the other 24 animals, 22 were dead and 2 others were dying. When the news spread that Pasteur had discovered a cure for anthrax, hundreds of people wrote to him for the supply of vaccine of weak germs, and he had to turn his laboratory into a kind of a small germ factory, preparing germs. We are fighting against germs, but he's manufacturing the germs. 18th para, Pasteur received many honors from the French government, and in 1881 he came to a big medical congress in London. When he walked down the hall, he was walking down the hall towards the stage. There was a storm of applause. He looked around. He thought, thinking that the cheers must be from some other royal person. So Pasteur could hardly believe that the applause was meant for him. Applause was meant for him. He was not aware. 19th para. One of his last experiments was in connection with the terrible disease which attacks a person who is bitten by a dog with rabies, mad dog as we call it. Pasteur had grown very sure about the power of inoculation. By now he was very sure what I am doing is perfectly right. He was sure. And he decided to try out the same idea in cases of rabies. At that time, nearly everyone died who had been beaten by a diseased dog. In 1885, Pasteur made his experiment on a young Alsatian boy who came to him in Paris covered with bites from a mad dog. The boy's mother told Pasteur, "If you can cure animals, you can cure my son." So Pasteur inoculated him with some weak rabies germs and the boy recovered. 20th para. Although Dr. Jenner had already discovered how to vaccinate against smallpox, he did not really understand about bacteria. Pasteur, after giving his life to this study, this is very important, life to his study, he was able to prove the value of inoculation and to find out ways of wearing it for different diseases. 21st para. During the First World War, 1914 to 18, the troops going abroad were inoculated against such diseases as typhoid and enteric fever, and very low death rate from these illnesses among the troops, even in unhealthy places, was a great tribute to Pasteur's work. 22nd para. Pasteur's memory is still honored in the Institute of Pasteur in Paris, where bacteriology is studied by men of all nations. At the opening of the institute in 1888, Pasteur said two opposing, this is the fifth important para, fourth one being just in the 16th para is the fourth important because Pasteur, having tried to discover terrible disease called anthrax with men of, because anthrax was a kind of a disease what we are suffering today, COVID, very fearful disease at that time. So this is the fourth one. Fifth important one is this. He said, two opposing laws seem to me now in contest. The one, a law of blood and death, about war he says, opening out each day new methods of destruction, how to destroy a full of city by sitting in my this cabin by particular computerized weaponry, exact location to be found, and destroying the whole of the city is my thing of pride, I say. This is the one part of it. Law of blood and death, opening out each day new methods of destruction, forces nations to be always ready for the battle. So everyone is ready. No one can exercise the weapon, because if one destroys, the other also can do the same thing in retaliation. The other, he says, the law of peace, work and health, very important para, whose only aim is to deliver man from the disaster which surrounded him. The one seeks violent conquest, one, the other the relief of mankind. This is the contrast. Which of these two laws will prevail, God only knows. These are his opening remarks. But of this we may be sure that science, in obeying the law of humanity, will always labor to enlarge the frontiers of life. He says this science of enhancing the humanity will always prevail and will have the uh, enhancing boundaries, he says. 23rd para, someone who knew Pasteur well in his old age described him thus, very with deep lines on his face, the skin and beard both white, his hair still thick and nearly always covered with a black cap, the broad forehead wrinkled, marked with lines of genius, the mouth slightly drawn with paralysis, but full of kindness, and above all, the living thought which still flashes from the eyes beneath the deep shadow of the eyebrows. What a beautiful para with so many adjectives and parallels, unparalleled parallels, putting into a single line to describe this great man. 24th para. On Pasteur's 70th birthday, his jubilee was celebrated almost like a national festival. Like Lord Lister, he was honored in his old age by the scientists of all the nations. At the crowded meeting in the great hall of University of Paris, the old man was too overcome to speak, and his speech was read to the distinguished audience by his son. And this is the sixth important part of it. One can mark it, the 25th para. The future, he said, on behalf of his father, the future, he said, will belong to those who shall have done the most for suffering humanity. To the young students, he addressed a special word. First, ask yourself, what have I done for my education? Then, as you advance in life, what have I done for my country? So that someday that supreme happiness may come to you, the consciousness of having contributed in some measure to the progress and welfare of humanity. So what he said, what education I have, not just being able to have my belly full, it should contribute towards the progress of the surrounding people, that means the nation. That's what he said. It's not just being selfish and having ourselves being in a progressive way while let others perish. This attitude should not be there. The last para, Pasteur himself certainly knew that happiness. He knew about this happiness. Which happiness? Making the country and surrounding people also to progress by what deeds we do. That is important. He died in 1895 when he was 75, and no name in science is more honored or will be longer remembered. Full stop. Last sentence. But I feel that this sentence should have ended no longer remembered as that of him. I feel so. Thank you. Further part about the grammar will be done later on, some other day. Thank you.